This is the view from our front porch. Maybe you can see way off in the distance there. Well, you can't quite make it out on the video how far our view goes through the trees. But that's our front yard here. Our hammock on the porch. Pretty cool. Let's check out the inside of the house. This is the view when you walk in. We just threw a birthday party for Joe the other night, so that's what that's all about. There's living room furniture. Notice the glaring lack of a TV. I'll show you first the rooms that we use so you kind of get an idea of where we live and how we live. This is our bed and mosquito net, which is so much nicer than having it just hanging off a single point on the ceiling, because now it physically cannot lay on us at night. This is our bathroom connected to the bedroom, flushing toilets, shower, pretty awesome. Our closet, yep, nothing too interesting in there, just a closet. But a whole lot better than we had in the Banda, which is pretty sweet. There's the dining room table. It's where I like to sit down and study, and we play cards and stuff all the time. Our rather large kitchen. A refrigerator and freezer. Fresh fruit all the time. There's pineapples, mangoes, oranges, and limes out of our backyard. And then I guess that's pretty much all the parts of the house that we use, because we're just a couple living in a house made for a family. But to show you guys the rest of the house, here through the kitchen, this is the store, which we would generally think of as a garage, but most houses in Africa have this. It's kind of the storage space. We really don't have anything out here. There's their second freezer, but this is kind of for the nerds who I know will want to see this. Our solar battery bank. That's our giant transformer. We've got a meter there, and right below that is the message box that tells us the status of our solar. So you can kind of see there, it says at the bottom no AC in, which means we're running on only solar power. And then right up there we've got 100% charge on our batteries, which is good because it's the afternoon and we don't want to be low in the afternoon or else we won't have any power at night. There's the propane bottle that runs our gas stove, so that's pretty sweet. And then you guys will probably see at the end of the video the view of the whole front of the house, so you can see the solar panels on the roof. I think there's 4 panels on the front of the roof, and then there's one on the back of the roof that's not actually for the solar system, but is for the water heater. So it actually has a water radiator. This is the children's room, one of the children's rooms, which we just generally leave closed. We have a second bathroom, complete with shower and toilet and all that stuff. So that's nice for guests. Now, don't judge us for the mess in here because it belongs to someone else. But this is the second bedroom, which currently is kind of the junk storage room for the family that had to vacate the house when they went back to the States. The people that the house actually belongs to. And then over on this side, past the living room, where we're just kind of keeping our luggage and stuff that we don't use all the time. This is the other kids' room, which I think is pretty darn sweet for a kids' room. The beds are up top. You got your ladder, bookshelves, all that good stuff. Bows hanging on the wall, which is, of course, a must for any kids' room. There's their keyboard, my guitar. This is where they homeschool their kids, so we generally don't go to this side of the house either. But it's all here. We just don't really ever use it. I'm going to hit this switch and see if maybe you can hear what I'm going to show you in the backyard. I don't know if we can hear that on the video or not, but that was a water pump running, and I'll go show you what that does. For anyone that just wanted to see our house and doesn't care about how things work in Africa, you can pretty much stop the video now. But for those nerds who like to know how things work, all this gutter system on our roof, it all drains to one place. And that's how our house collects its water, is when it rains, it all drains down into this cistern, which really is just like a 500-gallon tank in the ground with a bunch of cockroaches in it. And all the water's down there and is plumbed to this water pump, which is what was just running. I don't know if we'll hear that or not. And that is plumbed to, I'm going to go to the other side so I can actually see it and I'm not looking directly into the sun. That is plumbed into our water tower. And that thing sticking up off the water tower is an internet amplifier. It's how most of the people in this area and all the staff in their houses and such get their internet, is off of this tower. There's that back water radiator I was telling you about. It's heated via that solar panel. That's how all of our water is heated for hot showers and such. And we have all our clothes drying here. Of course, that's how it's done. We can't just throw them in the dryer. And here in the backyard, we have a lime tree, an orange tree, another orange tree, another orange tree, a grapefruit tree. Maybe you can even see some of the fruit hanging off. So that's a not ripe grapefruit way up there. And maybe you can see, maybe you can't. There's a bunch of grapefruits up there. Some of them are close to being ripe, so we might get to have some grapefruit soon. That's just something with thorns on it. I don't know what it is. Back there is a dead lemon tree. Sadly, it died while the house was vacated and while the owners were away. And a second dead lemon tree. There's another orange tree. Another grapefruit tree. You can pretty clearly see some of the fruit on this one. Over here, these are what Ugandans would call popo, but that's a papaya, as we know it. Whew. Here is, oh, what are these called? I'm having a brain fart. These are guavas. You can just pick them off and eat them like an apple. None of ours are ripe yet, and generally what happens is any that kids can reach will get plucked before they're ripe, but hopefully we'll have some ripe pretty soon. I don't remember what these are called. We don't have them in America, but they're basically, they look like a mini watermelon, but when you break them apart, they look, in the inside they look like a tomato, but they're very citrusy. And then over here, these rows in the ground are all strawberry. Unfortunately, there's no strawberries ready to be harvested right now, which is kind of sad. There's some more of those weird tomato things on that little tree right there. Here's one that's actually ripe. I should probably pick that for Ray, because he'll enjoy that later. But that's what they look like when they're ripe. Over here is banana trees. That one right in the center of the screen there is a banana tree. And I don't know if I'm going to be able to actually show you fruit, because that was just recently harvested. And then on the other side, maybe I'll edit out all this walking, because it's super boring, and who cares about walking from one side of the garden to the other. We'll go over this way. Sneak through here. This is a banana tree right here. Check this out. We have pineapples right there, right over there, right behind that one's another one. So we've got 3 pineapples that are within the next few weeks going to be ready to be harvested and eaten. And all this over here, that is all banana, except for the last few over there, which are called matoke. And they look like bananas, and they smell like bananas, but they're not bananas. Oh, here we go. Here's some bananas. Some fruit just beginning to sprout off the tree there. That big flower on the end is how you can tell that the bananas are growing behind it. You can see green bananas right there, very small still. They'll be ready to be harvested probably in mid-May or so. But this one over here, you can tell because the stem is much darker. It's not a banana tree, it's actually a matoke tree. Matoke is a type of banana that never turns yellow and is not sweet, but is actually, it never softens either. So when they harvest it, they have to boil it, and they boil it and they mash it up until it's like a yellow paste, and then they make some kind of sauce, usually with meat, and pour it over the top of it, and it is kind of a staple of the Uganda diet. Our tire swing, kids are always over here playing on that. And then I'll just walk up front here and give you one last view of our whole house. All the way from the store on that side, the kitchen, the dining room. There's our solar panels on the roof, where the couches are, and where they homeschool the kids in the back. That's where we're living. It's pretty awesome. God has really blessed us with such a wonderful, self-sustaining house.